So a lot of Chiefs fans have been asking the same question. Where the hell is Jeff Caldwell? After all that hype, he's been pretty quiet at camp so far. So we did some digging. Let's talk about it. Chiefs Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen, NFL fans, how are we doing, everybody? Good to see everybody rolling in here. Do your boys a favor, hit that like button on the way in. Let's get some fans in here tonight, some Chiefs fans. It's time to come back. Football is in full swing, okay? It's not the offseason no more, technically. It's the season. But we got a lot to talk about tonight with Jeff Caldwell. Everybody was super pumped about Caldwell, and now you don't hear about him hardly at all. So we're going to get into that a little bit. Like I said, appreciate y'all being here. Shout out Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's live stream. We'll have more on them here in just a minute. But Mike, what about Jeff Caldwell, brother? This guy was hyped up so much. He was almost like the new Justin Ross, but we haven't heard anything out of him since camp started.
Right. He's buried. He's buried on like a third team maybe right now. He's running late. We've seen a lot of guys stepping up. Because Cyrus Allen got injured, Rashee Rice has been out for a little bit. You've seen a lot of people step up, and it's rarely been Jeff Caldwell's name we've heard. We've heard Andrew Armstrong. We've heard Amari Evans. We've seen Jason Brownlee made a big catch yesterday. You just go down the list. Nico Remigio's actually playing well.
Right.
We've seen Jalen Royals have a big day the other day. We've seen almost everybody but Jeff Caldwell, except for that one touchdown pass on like a walkthrough rep. So to me, I'm rooting for Jeff Caldwell. Like, I want that guy to be good, but I don't know what's going to happen here. Like, I feel like there was a reason he didn't get drafted, and I feel like we're seeing it now. Like, something's not grasping to get him up the depth chart very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's so much as Jeff Caldwell's had a bad camp so far, as much as he's had an invisible camp so far. Like you said, he's been pretty buried in the depth chart. And right now, his roster stock is way down. I guarantee you, 2-3 weeks ago, if you would have asked somebody, hey, is Jeff Caldwell going to make the 53-man roster? I bet 80% of fans would have been like, hell yeah, he is. Yeah. Now, if you ask them, I bet you they have a different tone. It's probably more like a 50-50, right? But I did some digging, man. I'm like, so have we missed something here? Because, we're not the cool guys. We're not at camp every day. We're not at camp every day watching everything. We just go by the reports and stuff like that. But I haven't seen a whole lot about Jeff Caldwell. Maybe they missed something, I don't know. I started digging. Maybe we missed something.
Maybe they fell asleep during Caldwell's rep.
But honestly, the biggest piece of information that I can find to date published about Jeff Caldwell was actually Ron Kopp Jr., and he's been on X throughout the entire camp, taking videos, giving his opinions, and doing a lot of good journalism down there. But basically, he said the same thing we're saying, Mike. Like, he is absolutely 100% buried in the depth chart, and he's played mostly with the third-team offense. And that's exactly why you're not hearing anything about Jeff Caldwell. And we're 10 practices in or something like that in camp right now. It's not like it's only been a couple practices. Now, he has flashed a couple times. I think there was one time where Justin Fields hit Caldwell with a nice pass, and I think he got the step on like Chamari Connor because everybody was like, of course he did. Like, that doesn't necessarily mean that you showed out.
Get a step on Chamari Connor.
Man, Chamari, I love you, brother. But yes, I agree. He has some problems with getting torched. But yeah, I mean, other than that, the only other time I saw his name come up, Mike, was when they were actually mentioning Mansour Delane one time on ESPN, where they were talking about him blanketing Jeff Caldwell and shutting him down.
Wow.
That's the only 2 times I can even find Jeff Caldwell really mentioned throughout camp so far.
Hey, if he gets Delane going, I'm all about it. Like, let's get Delane going. Yeah, I'm with you. I haven't seen a lot either. And do I think it's because Jeff Caldwell just sucks? Absolutely not.
No.
I think he's a UDFA. We've seen it on his film. Cyrus Allen was the best receiver on that team. Yes, he's got physical traits. He's big, he's tall, he's fast. But look, he's known to have a decent amount of drops. That's why we called him MVS Part 2.
Well, he's not a complete receiver just yet. He's got all the traits and everything, but he's not like a great receiver like Cyrus Allen was at Cincinnati, right? He was missing a lot of things.
Yeah. exactly. So he's got a little ways to go. I think it's safe to say that more than likely the Chiefs are going to look, if they went today and you had to go the 53 man, he's going to the practice squad, and there is nobody in the world pulling him off the practice squad and put them on their 53 right now. There's nobody.
I doubt it. I doubt it unless they really want to take a shot on nothing but physical.
Yeah, you have to take a shot.
A lot of teams don't
nothing.
really do that. They don't do that as much as fans would expect. They don't really do that because once you're at that point to where you're, getting the roster down to 53, sometimes you don't have room for this project player. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was just 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had a Jeff Caldwell short I'd put out. I threw it out on TikTok, but I think I threw it out on YouTube as well. But I was basically saying Jeff Caldwell has all the intangibles, but you're going to have to wait on Jeff Caldwell. And no, I don't think he's going to get poached off the practice squad right now. He's just not doing a lot. But I said, is Jeff Caldwell going to be able to help the Kansas City Chiefs? Absolutely. Is it going to be in 2026? Probably not.
Probably
he's
not.
More of a 2027, 2028, maybe never kind of guy before I think he would do something this year. And that's not a knock on Caldwell, but it's just, it's the reality of the NFL. It's tough.
Now, this goes without saying, but just because he's been quiet so far doesn't mean that he won't come out and do something in the back half of camp here. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could absolutely start flashing a little bit. They could start giving him more opportunities with the first and second teams. You never really know. But right now, we just haven't seen it. So that's why I say yet. We haven't seen it yet. So maybe Caldwell can get out there and do this. And, Mike, I think the most significant thing from here to me is that before camp started, that conversation was, well, if they take 6 receivers, Jeff Caldwell's right there on the bubble because you also have Nico Remigio, who they might not put on there purely for kick returning and stuff like that. But Andrew Armstrong has passed him up completely. Andrew Armstrong has passed him up so bad that, if they take someone that's not Nico, it would probably be him at this point.
Yeah, Armstrong's pushing for number 7 right now, assuming Nico's 6.
Right. So, Caldwell's actually fallen since camp started.
Caldwell's no better than wide receiver, 9 right now?
He's back there with maybe behind a Jesus. He's somewhere in that range. And like you said earlier, that's not a knock on Jeff Caldwell. He's got all the physical traits in the world. He's a freak athlete. Mikey made a short about him. He talked about how he'd scored higher on the RAS score than anybody except Megatron. The kid's insane, and there's a lot of potential there. Super high ceiling. We're just hoping that they could get to that point eventually, but I just don't think it's going to happen before the beginning of the season. But you never know. You guys get in the comments. Let us know what you think about Caldwell. I know a lot of you guys are really high on him and you thought he'd make 53-man roster, blah, blah, blah. Where are you sitting with that right now? Are you starting to maybe get a dose of reality that he might not, or do you still think that he's going to shine in camp and somehow squeeze himself onto the roster? Let us know what you guys are thinking in the chat. But yeah, I appreciate everybody rolling in here. Do us a favor and hit that like button. Let's have a good night. And if you got any questions or anything like that, throw them in the chat. We have a lot to talk about as far as camp goes. We're going to kind of wrap up any questions you have over the last week of camp or anything like that, and much more. So stick around. Mike, we got a 5 bomb from Will Turd. Just finally caught alive. Been busy getting buffed up. Always make sure to give yourself love. Your thoughts on Brenning Stool's row this year? Man, Will Turd, are you out there getting guns, baby? You pulling the Lance Twidwell? Lance the Spoken out there getting buff? Maybe you're going to the gym with him. Maybe. So Brenning Stool. Brenning Stool's actually stacked some days. I think he's not done anything amazing, but he's definitely showed that he is a pass catching weapon for this team. If they want to use a tight end for the sole reason to get out there and catch the football, Brenning Stool's definitely an option. Now, Andy Reid did say that he stuck his nose into blocking and was doing pretty good, but he's obviously got a long way to go on that now, doesn't he? Because, even in college, that was not anything you expect Blake Brenning Stool to do. He's not going to block for you. And if he did, he was probably getting his ass whooped. But, I think Brenning Stool's role could be like what they had planned for Jody Fortson, where it's just getting there and being an extra receiver sometimes. I think that could kind of be what Brenning Stool does. What do you think, Mike?
I think Brenning Stool's got a shot to make this team this year. He's looked pretty good. I think he's learned a lot more. Even going back and watching some of his routes from last year, he looks better. He looks more smooth. He looks more confident in what he's doing. Andy said his blocking's getting better. It's got to get better, but look, he's never going to be a guy like, belldozer. He's not going to be that guy. He's not going to be a Trey
Right.
Watson type tight end. He is a move tight end. That's just all there is to it. If you think that in the next year to two, he could be just as good or better than Noah Gray or Jared Wiley already, I think you're going to have to keep him. Like, you're going to have to take him some point. I could see Brenningstool getting pulled off of the practice squad before Jeff Caldwell.
Yeah, I agree with that. And here's the thing. I said before, way back, like right after they picked up the UDFAs and everything, I said that Gillenborg and Brenningstool both had an opportunity to battle in camp this year and maybe make the 53-man roster as a pass catcher if they can get in there and be an offensive weapon. Obviously, Gillenborg is out on the IR, so he's out for the entire season. So that opened the door for Brenningstool to really just kind of get out there and claim that role. So, I mean, if he could continue to, make great catches at practice the way he has been. I mean, he's made some fingertip catches and stuff like that. If he can show that he has the trust of Patrick Mahomes or any kind of chemistry with Patrick Mahomes, if he's running the routes the way he needs to be running them, I think that he absolutely could make this roster. And I think that Brenningstool could actually throw his hat in the ring for successor to Travis Kelce. Because if you get in there and you start doing some stuff this season, you also get to work with the GOAT for the rest of this year. Maybe he could be that guy next year that comes in and really helps out in this offense. So,
yeah, I think that you probably push. If it's me, I'm pushing him above. If you had to tell me, like, at the end of this year, like, Brenningstool can make the team, Brenningstool can do this, he can do that, I'm probably starting to put him above the importance. 1 year from now, 2 years from now, he's probably going above Jared Wiley. Jared Wiley's he's just not getting there. Now, he could get there this year. It's possible.
He's not done bad.
He's probably going above Noah Gray. Noah Gray's already got to the point to where it's like he's so hit or miss. And I feel like if he is going to be a successor to Kelce, it would have happened already. Like, he just would have probably forced Kelce off the field more.
I think Noah Gray got caught in this weird time to where I absolutely think Noah Gray could have been that guy. Like, there was a time when Noah Gray's like, dude, he's good. Like, you put him in there and you start him.
He's
you give
solid.
Him those, he could be that guy. I mean, he might not be a Travis Kelce, but he's someone that plays in the vein of Travis Kelce. He reminds you of Travis Kelce, and he could have absolutely been a Dalton Schultz. He could have absolutely been one of, Jake Ferguson, somebody like that that's manageable on any team. I think Noah Gray could have absolutely been that. Not saying that he could be a Travis Kelce, but he kind of got in this weird time to where it's like they gave him the 3-year extension, but you also have Travis Kelce who is deciding whether he's going to play or not every year.
Yeah, I still,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I don't think that matters. I believe you would push Kelce to lose more snaps, to do things like that. And he's not done that.
You think if we would have had a really good tight end in here that they would have even took snaps away from Kelce? Because I don't.
I think it has to at some point because Kelsey's getting a little old. He's looked a little tired for the past few years.
We've
just
been
a little
saying
bit.
That though, and they just don't do it. So I mean,
Kelce wants to stay on the field. I absolutely understand that. I don't know. I just can't get behind Noah Gray. He's too hit or miss. He's too up or down. We've seen that in camp so far. He's come out and just stone-handed things, and then he's made great catches. So you never know what you're getting.
I thought he's been pretty good in camp from what I saw. I mean, let's see. Justin says, is it really that hard to learn to run routes and catch a football? There are so many nuances to the wide receiver position. That's why you see so many guys with all the talent in the world, like Jeff Caldwell or whoever, that just can't contribute in the NFL because there's so much more to it than just get out there, run this route, catch this ball. Like, just for an example, Xavier Worthy. And I'm not down in Xavier Worthy at all. I think Xavier Worthy's a good receiver. But he's the fastest guy to ever play, according to the combine, the 40 time and all that, right? He's not Tyreek Hill. He's not as fast as Tyreek Hill. He's never going to be. So we'll just put that to bed. But Xavier Worthy, as fast as he is, could create zero separation because it's not about your speed. 4.2 40 time is not that much different than a 4.4 40 time. It's really not. It's like literally not even the blink of an eye. So you have these corners that get a step ahead that know what they're doing. They can shut you down. So it's not about just being fast and using physical traits all the time. It's about how you pace yourself. It's about the way you run routes. It's about the way you set up defenders. It's about leverage. It's about 9 million other things. So, I mean, it is a lot. There's a lot more to it than you would think, Justin. So I think that's why. I mean, Mike, wouldn't you say like every good athlete in the world could be a receiver if that was the case, right?
I mean, you have to like they have a lot of nuance. I did see where he had said somewhere earlier in the chat that he would just, if he had those physical traits, he would just go hire a good coach and do it. I think
That could help.
I think Caldwell's doing that. I think he's been coached up. The dude was a soccer player in high school. Like he played soccer in high school at Butler. This is what he's been able to do in 5 years. So he has gotten better, but it's tough. You come into the league and you try to go up against a Trent McDuffie or somebody like that that's just seasoned, and he's going to stick to you. We're seeing reports out of LA, Nakua. So
yeah, that's pretty crazy. Mike, we got a 20 bomb from Todd. What's going on, Todd? Says, hey guys, injury updates or thoughts? Let's go, Todd. Appreciate you, brother. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So the injury updates, I mean, it's just from what I put out yesterday. I think you're still looking at Xavier Worthy. They're trying to nurse his shoulder a little bit. Same with Mansour Lane. He was back in pads, but he's still not allowed to have any contact, still in the no contact jersey. Trey Smith, I guess, could be a little more concerning than they're making it out to be. He's got a hip problem. So, I mean, I don't know how bad that is, but he's been.
What do you do? Break his hip? Like,
I don't know. They didn't get much into it. They just said it was his
old?
hip. And, like, I don't think it's anything major. I'm not saying that, but, I mean, you don't want your starting offensive lineman to have any kind of hip issue with the season coming up, right? Because those can be nagging. Let's see. Drew Tranquil was still out the other day with the back spasms and stuff, but I think that's just precautionary. Cyrus Allen was back in pads. I don't think he participated in a lot of the team drills, but he was out there getting work in. Who am I missing here, Mike? I think
Boston was back.
Boston was back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. And then you got Omar Norman Lott, of course,
still
on the pup list.
Still on the pup. That's the thing I want to know. Christian Fulton got back too in a limited capacity. When does Christian Fulton start running full team again, full speed? When is Delane going to get to start going? When is Omar Norman Lott going to get back? Is Omar Norman Lott going to take this pup list all the way into the season, I wonder?
Yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, it's a lot harder for someone like Omar Norman Lott to come off of a torn ACL than, say, someone like Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's a lot bigger. The position he plays, it's more getting power from the ground, leverage, stuff like that. This could take a while. So I don't think that he's going to miss a significant portion of the season. Now, I do think that it could set him back a little bit to where he's not getting into the rotation the way he would have been if he could have been through camp, right? So he might lose some snaps because of this, but I think eventually he'll get out there and going. I don't know if it'll be all the way till the regular season though. You think surely we could get him back out there before camp's over, I'd hope.
Are you talking about Norman Lott?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who was it? Was it Price? Somebody the other day said that they think that he might just take the pup into the season. We'll see. They say it might extend the 53. You know how they're always trying to like weasel that 53 anyway.
Yeah, appreciate the 20, Todd. Jamie here says, hey guys, I spent 4 days in St. Joe's. Got a ton of pictures. I'm not a professional photographer, but I got some good ones. Also got the Zardas. They were good. I prefer Gates. Let's go, Jamie. Hope you had a good time out there. Yeah, send us some pictures, man. I mean, if you got some we can use, we'll use them. That'd be cool. We'll give you your credit. Don't worry, sir. But yeah, Zardas is awesome. If you prefer Gates, you prefer Gates, but I prefer Zardas in that situation. But I'm glad you had a good time, man. That's awesome. Let's see here. Kingdom says, who do y'all think the most overhyped camp darling is this year? Well, I mean, before it started, we were talking about him earlier. It was Jeff Caldwell, right? Like everybody going into camp, this was the guy that was going to just light the world on fire. Obviously, it's been quite the opposite. Who do you think, Mike, is getting a lot of hype right now in camp that either A, won't even make the 53-man roster, or B, won't really make a splash at all this season?
I don't know how much hype he's getting, but I think Pete Sweeney the other day said to watch out for him possibly pushing for the 53, and that was Tyreek Smith off the edge, defensive end.
You're talking about the dude that got yeeted by Josh Simmons.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think Benson's hype is deserved, I think, at this point. Khalil Benson.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's deserved.
It's about, I mean, think of where he's coming from. He's a UDFA. He
Right.
could potentially be the starting right tackle. Like I said the other day, Mike, he's not perfect. He's not going to be great right off the rip. He's going to have problems.
I think I'd take Benson's hype over I take Andrew Armstrong's hype. Andrew Armstrong could stack days for the next 2 or 3 days. We've got 8 camp practices left. 8.
That's crazy.
That's it.
Isn't that crazy?
You got 8. 4 this week, 4 next week. He could have 4 out of those 8. Andrew Armstrong could crush it. He could be left off the roster, depending on what Toe wants to do at wide receiver 6. And we don't take 7. But Benson, I don't think you can do that. If Benson keeps stacking decent days, I don't think you can leave him off. You've got to have that swing tackle. We're not hearing a lot from Pole, even though I did hear Pole had a really good, some good stuff yesterday or the day before. But yeah, I think with just the offensive line, I think you've got to you take Benson. So I would say if anybody, I think the one hype player that I think is probably just going to fizzle out is probably going to be Andrew Armstrong. And I don't want to say that negative towards Andrew Armstrong because he's deserved everything he's got. It's just going to be tough to come in here and win that wide receiver 6 over Nico, and then to actually contribute in the offense. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. I guess they say he's got good. Andy said he's got good trust with Mahomes and things like that, which is fine. But we also seen Mahomes come out last year versus the Cardinals in week 1 of the preseason and find Brownlee, and Brownlee looked good. He threw a jump ball in the corner of the end zone. We all thought Brownlee was going to make the roster.
Well, I think a lot of that is overhyped as far as, oh, well, they have good chemistry with Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not saying that they don't, but Mahomes notoriously his entire career has thrown to anybody. You could put the water boy out there and he's going to throw it to you.
He's had to.
You know what I'm saying? So
we forced him to have chemistry with everybody.
I don't know how much stock you can put into that one thing. Now, you do want your guys to have good chemistry, but when I'm talking about that, I think it's somebody that you see it repeatedly over and over and over again, and you see that there's just like this kind of unsaid just connection between the two. Like you used to see, it's not been as good lately, but still there a little bit, but him and Kelsey.
Yeah.
But like, just have a good chemistry. I feel like it gets thrown out there a little bit too much. Mike Lego in the house, baby. What's up, Lego?
What's up, Lego? What are you doing?
Let's go. Good to see you, brother.
What's up, brother?
Ain't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. We got Chief KT in here, member for 33 freaking months. Let's go, brother. Says, I love Mahomes, but he doesn't need to prove a point. He needs to chill a little bit. Yeah.
I'm glad he brought that up. I wanted to ask you this tonight, and I had forgotten, but I wanted to ask you this. Now that we've seen Mahomes get through the majority of camp, we've got 8 practices. I don't think he's going to play in the preseason. I think Andy alluded to that the other day. I think he confirmed what we've been trying to tell people, that you're not going to do that.
Why would you?
If Mahomes had his way, I think Mahomes would try to weasel.
He'll try to get out there for at least a
series or something. Yeah. But we'll see. Do they start cutting him back in camp just a little bit to make sure something in the next few weeks doesn't happen weirdly? Or do you think you just let him run full steam ahead and go? Because right now, I think he's trending. If the season were to start, say, next week, instead of that being preseason game number 1, I still think Mahomes is walking out on that field.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think Mahomes himself said it best in the presser the other day, man. It's like there's a fine line between overworking it and actually pushing it, because you want to push it a little bit. You want to, progress and get better and push it a little bit. You just can't go overboard. And I think he's done really good at finding that happy medium there. Now, there have been some things people have mentioned, like him jumping up and down and celebrating and doing crazy stuff, or taking off with the ball when he doesn't need to.
Alone. Quit jumping.
Right. You don't want to pull, what was that, Kinlaw? Was that who it was in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he tore. Well, that was an ACL. Or what was that? An Achilles?
I don't know. He tore something just jumping on the sidelines. But like, yeah, I think Mahomes knows that. I think he's in a good spot. I don't think they're going to put him out there if they don't think he's ready to go, or if he don't think he's ready to go. And like, honestly, it doesn't matter what he thinks anyway. I think it's more up to the doctors and stuff. So I think he'll be okay though. He's looking pretty good actually. So as long as he's comfortable. He even said that he kind of forgets about it already. Like when he's out there and he's working a lot and he gets tired, he don't even think about his knee, which is a good thing in my opinion, because that type of recovery process from an injury like an ACL, that can be a lot mental. That can be in your head. Like you're afraid to cut, you're afraid to do this and that.
That's why I feel like Mahomes has done so well to this point, because it does feel like he's got the mental taken care of.
Yeah, I think so, man.
That's tough to do too.
Hopefully it keeps on going that way. It looks good so far though. Sammy in the house with the 2 says, glad everyone is seeing why I was hyping up Woods. Yeah, I mean, you were hyping up Woods the entire draft process, and rightfully so. I'm just glad to see that it looks like his game's translating a little bit. But I can't fully commit until I see it happen in games. Because camp's a different story, right? Camp's a little bit different story. But I do think what Peter Woods is showing is that he's capable of being what we think he is. Like, he's capable of being a guy that just goes in there and wrecks games. Like, maybe not in the sack category. Maybe he's not going to get a ton of sacks, but he can definitely get there and make it very difficult for offenses to roll. So I'm excited about it. I think he's looked really good so far.
Yeah, they were drafted as two different players, Peter Woods and Omar Norman-Lott. At least we thought. And it's almost like they wanted to do Omar Norman-Lott a little bit of how they're doing Peter Woods now a little bit. Like, it's weird. Like, they wanted to put on some extra weight and things. But I feel like what we thought we were going to get out of Omar Norman-Lott, which was a lot of pressure and a lot of disruption, I feel like you are going to get that out of Peter Woods. Like, he's shown that.
I think you'll get that out of Omar Norman-Lott when he's back and healthy.
Yeah. I absolutely believe that, but I do think that you are going to get that from Peter Woods, barring some sort of injury. I think you're going to get what we thought we were going to get last year. And so that should help the defensive line up and down. But yeah, Sammy, you did talk about it. There's a lot. Michael in the chat says, am I still here in PCB? Yes, I'm still here in PCB. Do you live here? Because you said, are you still here in PCB?
He's right next door to you, brother.
You right up the road right here.
He's listening to you talk through the wall.
He's like, brother, shut up.
Trying to sleep over here. Well, Turd with a 5 bomb says, which bubble battle on? I thought it said which bubble bath for a second. I was like, what are we talking about?
You can talk bubble baths.
Which bubble battle on defense actually changes Spagnuolo's week 1 scheme? That's a loaded question there, Will Turd. Changing the entire scheme? I don't know. I will say this. One thing that I'm not 100% sold on yet is who is going to be playing in the nickel.
You still think Connors is going to play there?
I'm scared that that's going to happen because no one's reached out and took that spot. Like, we've had so many guys where we're like, oh, it could be Christian Roland Wallace.
I think Roland Wallace has done enough to do it. It could be
Kohu. It could be Jaden Kennedy. But right now, maybe Christian Roland Wallace, I hope so. But Spags even said out of his own mouth that he would go right back to Chamari Connor in the nickel. He's like, oh, he's playing safety right now, but we're not afraid to put him back in the nickel. Like, please don't do that. Please, for love of God and all that's holy, Steve Spagnuolo, do not do that. But I need one of these other guys to step up and claim that spot and give him a reason to not even think of that. And Jaden Kennedy, I'm sorry. I love Jaden Kennedy. I think he's going to be a good player. I think that he has a high ceiling, but he is not what everybody was hyping him up to be going into camp as some professional Trent McDuffie replacement, awesome, great guy, which was absurd. Like, we had other content creators out and about that kind of threw the gasoline on that fire and got everybody a little horned up. But Jaden Kennedy's a fine player. I think he's good, but you've seen in camp, Mike, he's not what he was sold to a lot of these people as. Like, he is a 4th, 5th, 6th round draft pick that has to work his way in and get there.
I'm going to be honest here, though. He's done better than I thought he was going to do.
Yes and no. I mean, for every good play I've seen him have, I've seen him get cooked. So it's like
possibly,
and that's going to happen. I mean, he's a rookie. He's a mid to late round.
He's stuck behind a lot of people because, like you said, Chamari Connor, he's still not for sure out of that slot. We want him to be, but I don't know. Cater Kohu is here. You've already got Christian Roland Wallace. You've got other guys. I think Melvin Smith could play that if you needed to. I think Delane could play the slot if you had to absolutely do that as well. There are plenty of guys that can do that. So he's behind the 8 ball a little bit. I wasn't sold with Kennedy just coming out of the gate and being like, look, it's his starting job. That's what he's going to do. He's going to shut people down. He's an all-pro. Like, that's what we were hearing across the board. And I thought that was a little wild.
Yeah,
like,
it was too much.
He's good.
Well, you said it the best on Twitter. And what's funny is Kennedy himself wanted all the smoke, right? Because you even said on Twitter, you were like, look, you guys need to be a little bit more fair to this guy. You're going to put these crazy expectations on him.
I don't want fair.
And then when he doesn't hit those crazy expectations where, you know, hey, he's not going to be the next Trent McDuffie, all of a sudden, Chiefs Kingdom has this weird habit of turning on people and being like, oh, they suck. They're a bust. They're awful. Because he wasn't what you thought he was going to be. And he even said that he wasn't concerned about that, right? He even was just like,
he told me with his own mouth, I don't care, give it to me. And I said, well, you get what you get.
Yeah, buddy. If you don't get out there and do it,
And then he quickly deleted the comment.
yeah. If you get out there and you get
He said, look, this guy's been doing this for 5 years with these people. He knows exactly what's coming. I'm going to go ahead and backtrack that a little bit.
Backpedal, buddy.
But
Backpedal.
look, yeah, learn to backpedal. That's part of your job description. But look, here's the thing. I think he's done exceptionally well, in my opinion. I think Candy has looked really good.
He's got the tools.
To me, he's played better than I thought he would have up to this point. Now, I know he's buried again, but he's playing more towards third team. But to be honest, I think by the end of the season, I think he could work himself in to be a starter. And he could be a very solid pick.
I hope he does, because I don't want any chance of Chamari Connor playing that nickel position. I don't.
Right. And again, he was drafted in the 4th round. I had a round 5 or a round 6, early round 6th grade. And the only reason is still a lot of people don't know this. He moved around in college 3 to 4 different teams.
And he came off an injury too.
And he had an ACL injury.
Yep.
So he was coming off an ACL and he's moved 3 or 4 different schools. Now, I can't say that he moved schools because he was fighting teammates and coaches and he sucked. I can't give you the reason, but I don't like the moving and the wishy-washiness, because it feels like to me like it's just like I'm going to go where it's easy, or I'm going to go where they're going to let me play.
It could be you have to consider it could also be like I'm going to go where I have the opportunities too.
Right.
Which more power to you.
I don't know, but the point is the reason I had him so low was the fact that it was that injury. That was the big one.
And this is not a knock on Jaden Kennedy 5 minutes either. This is Jaden Kennedy is a good football player, and I think we have to give him the grace to get to that point. There's going to be a learning curve for any of these guys going from college to NFL. I just simply think that maybe the way people were talking about him, the same way they're talking about Jeff Caldwell and some of these other guys, it's like, y'all need to pump the brakes just a little bit. There's going to be a learning curve, but let them develop. I
even think at the end of this, I believe that we're going to get I'm a big Peter Woods guy, but I still believe we're giving Peter Woods a little too much hype. I believe once you get in there with some real schemes,
it's going to be different.
And it's going to be a lot harder to be that disruptive.
To me, I'm excited about it because you see the flashes and you're like, if he can do that, if he can do that, like, we're going to be good, So I like it. I can get with the Peter Woods hype a little bit more than some of the other guys, maybe. Major chip in the house is Benson is the starting right tackle. We should trade more to Washington or something. That's the big thing, especially with AI channels on YouTube right now. It's major blockbuster trade.
How do people watch that?
It's like, it sounds like a robot, like a kind of creepy robot.
Hello, sir. Today we will talk about Jalen.
The blockbuster trade of Jalen Moore.
Look, nobody's ever talked about sending Benson to Washington. We're never going to do
more.
That.
You mean more?
Yeah, more. You're never doing it. Brett Veach is not considering it. That's never going to happen.
And here's the thing. A lot of you guys think that we should trade him. And I get where you're coming from. He's way too overpaid to be what he is. But you have to consider, if Josh Simmons were to go down, who's going in there? Like, if Benson were to go down,
who's Benson and Pole? I get it. You've got Pole too, but
that's it.
I think you want 4 really good tackles or 4 solid tackles.
You cannot put all your stock in Esapole being your swing tackle in case of emergency. Like, you can.
No, I don't think
he might be fine. But no, Jalen Moore is going to be here. I think you have to have the depth. So, I mean, as good as that sounds, Major, I just don't think it's going to happen.
Well, also, if he's as ass as everybody thinks he is, why does Washington want to give up assets to go get him? I thought he sucked.
Well, I think what a lot of people need to remember is that Jalen Moore is a left tackle. He is a left tackle. He was a backup for Trent Williams in San Francisco. He's always played left tackle. We moved him out of position over to the right side. He didn't do that great, but he didn't get a whole lot of opportunities. Like, I think he's overpaid. Don't get me wrong.
Jalen Moore is a product of the exact thing you were talking about with Jaden Candy a few seconds ago. 1 or 2 bad games and he's automatically sucks.
Right. And also he got pumped up a lot because when we got him, like, oh, he's going to be he's going to be the best left tackle ever. And then they go draft Josh Simmons.
If you watch this channel, we said he was the best guy that Brett Veach could have got that offseason, but it wasn't that great. You probably needed to draft one. And guess what? One fell into our lap with Simmons.
Absolutely.
And Brett Veach couldn't account for that. So you had to go pay to get the best guy on the market at the time.
Yeah.
So it's tough to knock Brett Veach too.
Yep. Sammy with the 2 says, I think we now have the best defensive tackle room in the NFL. That's yet to be seen. If Peter Woods can get out there and perform in the NFL in real game situations, if Tonga continues to be what he has been the last couple of years, if Omar Norman Lott can get back healthy and actually, get some penetration and be a disruptor the same way Peter Woods is going to be. And then, of course, you got Chris Jones, and you're absolutely right. I think that you're talking about maybe one of the best defensive tackle rooms in the entire NFL, but I just think it remains to be seen, right? Like, there's so many question marks because if you just say Chris Jones and Tonga and you want to fight that one out, then go for it. But if you try to put Peter Woods and Omar Norman Lott in the conversation right now, I think you're taking a giant risk, like, because you don't really know what you got just yet. But I really do think they could both be very good. We just have to see it. Welterd with the 2 says by season end, is Williams CB1 or Delane? Now, I'll say right now, just by what I'm picking up from camp, like, no, Williams is that guy. Now, obviously, Delane hasn't been able to be out there as much as we'd like him to be. So I don't know, man. This is a coin toss. If I had to guess, I'd probably say it's going to be Williams. Delane could work his way into that. And I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I think they could be your boundary players, right? So, I mean, I think that they're both going to be starting corners. I do think that. And then we were talking about the nickel position a minute ago. Jerry Sneed's still there, but he's going to be worked in. He's going to rotate. You have to be cautious with him and that knee that's been nagging him for years. And I think those are your 2 guys, though, Welterd. No Williams and Mansour Delane. Those are the dudes. Christian Fulton, he scares me a little bit, Mike. He gets injured too much.
Yeah, you can't rely on him. I couldn't trust him about as far as I could pick him up and throw him, to be honest. And so I'm not doing that one. I would much rather put my eggs in the
no Williams.
At this point, I'd rather just cut the guy and just roll with Melvin Smith at this point.
Melvin Smith's been showing out, brother.
I know. I think at some point, do you look at last year? Like we just talked about freaking Jalen Moore, bro, but everybody hates that one. But what about Christian Fulton? That was the same exact offseason. Like Brett Veach whiffed that year, huh?
That was a bad one. And somebody else that we're kind of forgetting about that I think will also be in that rotation at tackle and depth, Ethan Driscoll. We keep forgetting about him. So there are definitely some guys in both of those positions that can.
At right tackle?
Yeah.
Matt, let's go. He's still playing out there.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's done, but he's there.
He's there, though. Guys, appreciate y'all being here. Do us a favor. Hit the like button real quick. It just takes a second. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please take 2 seconds and go hit the subscribe button. Even if you don't know if you did or not, go check it and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100K, and hopefully we can get pretty close to that by the end of the season. So go check that out and do it for us. Also, we got to shout out Prize Picks real quick for sponsoring tonight's live stream. So, Mike, let's get some entries in.
Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's episode. Let's jump right in and do some entries. We're going to go a little off the beaten path and go to NFL kickers. We're going to start out with the Chiefs' own Harrison Butker, 2026 regular season field goals, 28.5 field goals made. We're going to go more. This is a bounce back year for Harrison Butker. Right next to him, we're going to go Dicker the kicker, 31.5 field goals made. We're going to go more on that one as well. Let's come down here and go to Jason Myers, Seattle Seahawks, trying to repeat as Super Bowl champs. Not going to happen because the Chiefs are still in the NFL. 30.5 season field goals made. I'm going to go ahead and say more on that too. And we're going to go ahead and lock this in. Right now, you can go down to the description, find the link, use code HMA, and the new offer right now Prize Picks is running is play $5, get $150 if you win your first lineup. And now, back to the show.
Let's go, baby. If you don't got Prize Picks, make sure to get down in the description, click that link, download it, and use code HMA when you're signing up. Mike, we got a 2-bomb from Sammy here. Says, I will absolutely rage out if Jermod McCoy is Defensive Rookie of the Year. Somebody said this the other night, and it might have been you, Sammy, but somebody said the exact same thing. And I think a lot of people's going to rage out if he ends up being healthy and as good as people think he is. Because if you're able to get somebody that's even 95% of what Mansour Delane can offer you, and you got him that late, you got to steal. And also he plays for the Raiders. We don't want him to be good. So I want the kid to be healthy and to be able to play at the NFL. I don't want him to be Revis Island for the Raiders. So, let's just hope that he's not that. That way everybody doesn't have to get mad. I don't think we have to worry about that, though. Do you, Mike? I just don't know, man. There's a lot going on with that knee.
Yeah, I mean, he's practicing. He's doing things right now. I can't say he's going to be like the greatest thing ever. I think Delane's just as good or better. I mean, I had Delane as a better corner.
Yeah, I think Delane.
And I think what a lot of people are forgetting about Monster Delane, yeah, he's been injured. Big deal. Trent McDuffie, his rookie year, played, 2 or 3 games, and he set out to week 9 or something. He missed like the majority of his rookie season. It did not prevent Trent McDuffie from turning into an all-pro corner by the end of his contract.
Yeah. Cobra Kai in the house. What's up, brother? He says everyone watched the Trent McDuffie interview. Seems crappy the way he was getting traded and how he heard it. I actually did a short on this. You guys should go check that out. But basically, McDuffie was working out, and his mom and his fiance showed up and was like, "Hey, you got traded, dude." Like nobody told him. Like I here's my opinion though. A, it's just part of the business. It's how it goes. Like not everybody's going to hold your hand. And B, I think his agent dropped the ball there. Like his agent should have had his ear to the ground, known what was going on, and been able to get that to him before other people. So pretty wild. Hope you're doing good though, Cobra Kai. Oh man. So Mike, camp in general, now that we've got a whole week and something knocked out here, what are you excited about? I guess maybe some of the things that surprise you a little bit. I don't know. What do you think?
I think the wide receiver room to me didn't feel I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say they're bad. I don't want to say they're fine.
They're
we
lacking,
just don't know. We're in lingo with the wide receiver room right now because of Xavier Worthy, in my opinion. We've yet to really see what this could look at full force. We've really not seen Rashee Rice back at full strength so far. This could all be by design, especially Rashee Rice keeps leaving practice early and things like that. I just don't know what we have there. Jalen Royals has looked so bad, and then he got his ass chewed out, and then he had pretty good practice the other day. And then
they didn't chew his ass out too hard, but yeah,
really
they definitely
looks
got him
like
going.
Cyrus Allen could be the best receiver on the team. Like technically, like he looks it. And I mean, is he? No, Rashee Rice is better.
Rashee Rice is going to be.
Is he number 2 right now? Absolutely, he is.
Barring injuries, I think you're 1 and 2, even production wise by the end of the year, is going to be Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy.
I get it, but Xavier Worthy's not doing jack piss right now. Okay. So it is Cyrus Allen looks like he's number 2. Like there's no doubt about it.
I can't get with that. I think that they're just babying his shoulder because they had to have the meniscus taken care of after the season.
But he's not playing. So we're not seeing anything.
Big deal. Like that's like saying Patrick Mahomes didn't play in the preseason, so he's not going to be good in the season.
But Xavier Worthy has not hit his full potential just yet.
No, I think this is the year that he needs to do that.
He needs to do it this year. And what's he doing? He's watching from the sideline. So it's not easing doubts. That's what I'm saying. He's not easing anybody's mind right now.
No, especially
when the room looks like a mess.
Especially when the whole thing with Xavier Worthy when he got drafted was everybody's like, he's too small. He's going to be injured all the time. He can't play in the NFL.
Brother, we're talking about Nico Remigio and Andrew Armstrong right now. And here we are 8-10 practices in. Like that is not a good sign.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something else that we talked about on a video the other day. They think that Cyrus Allen is basically Stephon Diggs. They think he has the same skill set. They're not saying that he's as good as him, obviously, but they're saying he has the same skill set and that that's the potential that he could reach. So basically, they said, hey, we're not going after Stephon Diggs because we got one at home with Cyrus Allen. And they're putting all their stock into all these young guys. So it just is what it is. This is more of the same, Mike. This is more of the same. This is the same reason why I personally was a little bit ticked off when they decided to go up and draft Mansour Delane and leave Jordan Tyson on the table, who has been absolutely killing defensive backs in Saints camp. The dude is the best route runner in the entire draft by far. It was a no-brainer. But it's just the same stuff you've been seeing year after year. Yeah, you can go back Patrick Mahomes' whole career and be like, he had Tyreek Hill. He had Travis Kelce. Well, let's think about that for a second. Both of them were there already. They didn't go get either of them for Patrick Mahomes. They were already there. Plus, Tyreek Hill was like a 5th-round draft pick. Travis Kelce was a 3rd-round draft pick.
They haven't done nothing for Patrick Mahomes,
they haven't,
to be
and
honest.
They continue to not do it. They will not do it. The best they will ever do for him is a back-end 1st-round guy that should have been a 2nd round, which was Xavier Worthy, and then a bunch of other 2nd-round guys. Rashee Rice, Sky Moore, you know the drill. So, I mean, to me, they put themselves in this position, and they're going to roll with it the same way they do every other year. So I think for people to you could be ticked off about it the same way I was, but at the same time, to expect anything different, I think is just being foolish at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I think I fully expected to see the back end of the wide receiver room be some of these names that you're talking about. Nico Remigio, Andrew Armstrong. Like, of course it's going to be, because you didn't put anybody in the roster. Like, you didn't go get anybody.
Well, again, that was a whole debate we've talked about with the whole Cyrus Allen and the special teams thing. Like, he was the big get for Patrick Mahomes this offseason. He was it.
Yeah.
A rookie out of Cincinnati in the 5th round.
Yeah, they have a lot of faith in him. Don't get me wrong. That was their guy. Top 30 visit. They knew that's who they wanted.
He was the one guy that they went out and got for Patrick Mahomes.
Cyrus Allen is the reason why they decided to go corner early. Because that was their answer.
Yeah, I guess they thought they could get him. They wanted him above Jordan Tyson.
And don't get me wrong. I think Cyrus Allen could do some damage. Like, he absolutely could be way better than you think he's going to be. He could definitely be a lot better than people thought. Like, he was not a guy that was talked about. When you talked about the wide receiver class in this draft, you didn't talk about Cyrus Allen a whole lot. Like, hardly ever you hear people talking about Cyrus Allen. So, yeah, he absolutely could be a steal. But I don't know, man. We'll just have to see. I think it's just more of the same. Hey, Pat, we're going to get you some guys, some mid guys, and no shade to anybody because they're all good players. They're all in the NFL. But we're going to get you some guys that aren't superstars, and you're going to have to do what you got to do.
Patrick Mahomes was drafted in 2017, and I seen this comment here, and I'm not saying anything negative. I'm not trying to say nothing negative here about this one, but I've seen this pop up, and I can't find it now. Right here. It says, we've never drafted this high, though. Talk about Mansour Lane since Patrick. So we could never get top 25 draft talent unless we traded away a lot. You don't necessarily need top 25 draft talent. It was all about, is your scouting room worth a shit?
You could have had George Pickens.
But look, if it's not the scouting room, it's Andy and Brett Veach's choices of what they want. They want a specific kind of look. Yeah. Because guess what? In 2018, you didn't need a top 25 pick because in the 2nd round, Cortland Sutton went. Christian Kirk went. Okay.
You could have got DK Metcalf in the 2nd round. You
in 2019,
George Pickens. Yeah.
Right. In 2019, Deebo Samuel, AJ Brown went in the 2nd, and we took McCole Hardman. In 2020, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman Jr., these guys went in the 2nd round. Even Van Jefferson probably comes in here and does okay.
I would take it a step further. I think that, yours truly was saying that we don't really get the top 25. You have to trade up to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Well, look, we traded up into the top 25 once, and then we traded up with this pick and took cornerbacks with both. So that once again tells me you can definitely move to where you need to be.
I think, look, what it tells
you want to go after
is that they use the draft to help their defense.
Well, that corner
more than their offense.
Look, I think, like I said earlier, it's more of the same. We don't pay corners. We're never going to pay corners. It doesn't matter how good they are.
You need to get them on the
prove that. So, yes, we have to invest in them in the draft. So, I think that's their strategy. It just is what it is. As far as receivers goes, they don't really have a strategy. I think their strategy is to take a random shot at somebody in the 2nd round and hope they pan out. Like, because they don't ever try to get any. I can't say they don't ever, because they did get Juju. They went and got Hollywood Brown. They got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. But they don't ever go top tier. They always
I'm telling you, they always just shoot themselves in the foot because all they want to do is get that same prototype.
Yeah.
You didn't have to take Sky Moore. You traded back and you missed out on not DK Metcalf. That was McCole Hardman. And then you've done the same thing with George Pickens.
They actually traded up to get McCole Hardman.
It's ridiculous, some of the stuff we pulled.
Yeah. The receiver position is not one that we're good at as far as drafting.
No. And is it an Andy preference or is it our receiver scouts stink? Which one is it? Because something needs to be examined.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes Brett Veach is involved in that too. He's always got like a guy that he really likes or whoever, like, but what's funny is normally, here's what I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the time I feel like the guys that we draft are more Andy Reid or Steve Spagnuolo guys. And then the ones that Brett Veach really wanted, he doesn't get to get them in the draft. So like 3 years later, he'll go grab them if he can, like Kadarius Toney, because he was all about some Kadarius Toney.
Boy, he would have missed on that one. So
right, but I mean, think about this for a second. It's kind of one of those things you couldn't see coming because Kadarius Toney it's just like a lot of other guys we talk about, the physical attributes and like the athleticism was absolutely remarkable through the roof. But I mean, who could have predicted the guy was going to be a complete?
What was
job?
hilarious though is the one guy that fit the Tyreek Hill mold to a T.
Devon Achane?
No.
He's right there too.
I don't know why you brought up Devon Achane. I'm talking about receivers. The one
Tyreek Hill was a running back.
But the one guy that finally molded into it, we decided, and I know we needed Simmons, but we passed up Luther Burden, who was the guy that we seen from a mile away. And I think Luther Burden's going to be really good this year.
Of course he is.
So the thing is like, even when the good ones hit, we choose to do something different, which I know we need Josh Simmons. And I'm not trying to say get rid of Josh Simmons, but that was our chance. If you wanted to hit your guy, that was him. And he was right there in Missouri for years for you to see. And we were like, nope, I mean, that guy.
That was Josh Simmons, right? And it's like, I honestly think if they wouldn't have been able to get Josh Simmons, Luther Burden might have been their dude.
It could have been.
But you couldn't pass on Josh Simmons.
No, you couldn't.
Because I remember that entire draft, like when we were covering the
kept
first
saying
round,
that we thought they were going to go Luther Burden if it happened.
Yeah, they really need to go Luther Burden. I think they're going to. But then when Josh Simmons fell, it was kind of like they're going to take the tackle.
You got to take him. And then Luther
they're
going to take him.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Hindsight's 2020. But I mean, let's just get right back to that. What we have now in the wide receiver room. Are you guys happy with the wide receiver room? Because I feel like Chiefs Kingdom's very divided. If I look at the comments,
happy with that.
I don't know. If I look at the comments, a lot of times you got like a big portion of the fan base. It's like, no, we roll with what we got. We roll with the young guys. They're going to be fine. This and this. And then you have the other people that are like, this is batshit insane. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did we not get anybody? It was obvious we needed to get someone. So, I mean, I think it's pretty divided, to be quite honest. I've kind of been in the middle there the whole time because Mike, I even said, you know, hey, if Diggs can stay, if there's not more trouble to Diggs, which I think there ended up being more baggage with that, but, you know, if there's not, then maybe you get him just because you need a guy like that in the wide receiver room, like a vet. So I've kind of been back, but I'm not mad that they didn't get him. I'm not upset about it. So, like, I'm kind of indifferent on the entire thing.
I think, you know, there's a good exercise here that I think you can pull.
Mike, Jacob says you look pissed off. Why are you mad?
I'm not mad. I think there's a good exercise you can pull here. Let's imagine that there's a scale here. 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Let's go through every wide receiver and you put them on a scale from 1 to 10, how good they are. And I don't want how good they are with the Chiefs. I don't want how good we think they can be. How good they are right now in comparison. 10 is the best receiver in football, Jamar Chase, maybe, Justin Jefferson. And number 1 is like practice squad, okay? Where does Rashee Rice rank? Because he's the only guy on this team that's even over a 5 probably at this point.
If you leave the off-field stuff out of it, and hopefully that's exactly what this season is going to be.
If you're really honest about Rashee Rice, I rate him about like 6.8 to 7.
I say he's at least an 8.
You think he is that close to Justin Jefferson?
I think that he has the opportunity to be. We haven't got to see it yet because he either ended up hurt or in trouble. That's the problem.
I don't want projection. I want what they've done and what we have right at this moment.
Well,
so what is Rashee Rice at this moment?
What we've seen in small sample sizes, I will go at least a 7. If I'm not projecting, because we did see in the first 4 weeks, one season before Patrick Mahomes took his knee out, he was right in the conversation with the two guys you're talking about.
Well, he's still walking off the practice field because of that same knee.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
2 years later,
it's playing.
I get it, but still. So right now, to me, he's no better than like a 6.5 to 7. Worthy doesn't even scratch a 5 right now. I don't even know if he's barely above just average in the debate. Jalen Royals hasn't done squat. He's like a 2. He's barely above the practice squad. Matter of fact, he's probably going to be on a practice squad somewhere. And then who else is left? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's how bad our receiver room is. When you really objectively break it down, it got kind of scary because where I thought Jalen Royals was going to step up, where I thought Rashee Rice was going to be at healthy, where I thought Worthy was going to come back healthy and look good. None of this is panning out to this point. And I'm trying not to hit the panic button too hard, but we're 8 practices away.
I'm really far away from the panic button. Like we might be different.
Practices away.
the only reason I brought this up because, I mean, do you guys understand that nobody was scared of us handing the ball off, blah, 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 blah? Yes, we understand that completely. And I think that that's going to take care of a lot when it comes to that. I think if you go back to when we had Kareem Hunt wrecking everything in his first year and a half, Patrick Mahomes could use crappy receivers. It was easy. But he also still had Tyreek Hill then, guys. And he had a prime Travis Kelce. But Patrick can make decent receivers look really, really good. We know this. We also know that Chad O'Shea can make decent or not so great receivers look like they're pretty good too, right? Yeah. So I think the combination that lies within there, I think that you're right. Getting K9 and having a legit run game, that alleviates a lot of what was going on last year with a wide receiver room, not getting the separation, this and that. Because when you know that a team is one-dimensional, it makes it difficult for everybody. So it's hard to knock the receivers completely for being the worst team in football last year with separation because everyone knew we were passing the football. So, I mean, they were cheating, basically. Defenses were cheating, and it was too easy. They were playing on easy mode. So now that we have a legit running game, I think that things will loosen up a little bit. That's one reason I'm not hitting the panic button on the receiver room, in my opinion. And then Brandon says, reality check, guys, 7 straight AFC championships, 5 Super Bowls, all that stuff. They know what they're doing. Come on. Look, man, I agree. They know what they're doing. Obviously, the track record speaks for itself, but that does not change the fact that they have been ass at drafting wide receivers. It just doesn't. Just because they won all that stuff, that tells me that Patrick Mahomes is a badass. That doesn't tell me that they were great at drafting receivers because you're never going to be able to convince me Sky Moore was a great pick, McCole Hardman was a great pick, and passing up on George Pickens and DK Metcalf for those two was a good idea because it wasn't. So, I mean, we're not being negative. That's just a fact, Brandon. So I'm not negative on the passing game at all this year. I'm not hitting the panic button. I don't really think that the wide receiver room is a problem. I think the problem is going to be health. Because with the wide receiver room we have, Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy have to be healthy. They have to be. If they're not available, then you're digging a little bit. And I think Jalen Royals is actually going to do more than people are giving him credit for. So I'm kind of okay with it. I think we'll be fine. It's just a health thing, in my opinion. Let's see here. Todd with the 5 bomb says, is it Mahomes or Andy that doesn't like the 50-50 ball? They seem to like scheme over talent wide receivers. That's a perfect point there, Todd. Mahomes does not like to throw 50-50 balls. And I don't think it's as much Reed as it is Mahomes. But Mahomes will give his guys chances sometimes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is known to throw some picks here and there because he's trying to give somebody an opportunity. But no, I think in general, I think it's more of a scheme thing. I think Patrick Mahomes can absolutely, throw a dot. He can put it in a small window for big plays, but I think you prefer not to do that if you don't have to, because you want to minimize turnovers and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little bit of both. Mahomes doesn't routinely throw the ball in the tight windows.
He can. You've seen it.
He can't.
Yeah.
I'm saying he doesn't like to. And if you go back and look at through some of the ESPN, like next gen stats and things like that, like he routinely will not throw in the tight windows.
Right. And some of what, I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, but what the other guy was saying about the run game, I think that all goes hand in hand because since the Bengals exposed the Chiefs a bit in the AFC Championship game that, hey, they won't run the football. We're just going to drop into this cover 2 shell. And then everybody else in the league was like, hey, this is how we defend Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. So this is what we're going to do. And I think all that kind of played into all that because like Mahomes was seeing ghosts there for the longest time because there were so many DBs back there. I mean, it was tough for him. So he got to where he became a little bit gun shy there for a while. And I think that getting that running game back in here and making teams play more honest and maybe sometimes even bringing extra guys in the box because Kenneth Walker is absolutely working you, I think that opens up more things for the offense. I think it all goes hand in hand. So we'll see, though. We'll see. Not too much longer. Irwin with the 10 bomb says, if FAU shows that he isn't a bust this year, now that he's healthy, our defense could be scary good. Mike, what do you think the chances are FAU has a breakout year?
Not much. But I would say that he was progressing last year. In the few snaps he took in the preseason, I thought he looked better than he had the year before. He's been working out with Karloftis all season. He's been doing things with, I think, Tamba. A few different things. I think he could. I kind of like the fight. The fight he had the other day too. Like, I think he has to play mean. He has to play with a chip on his shoulder. If he felt like he was bullying Kingsley or Kingsley was bullying him and one of them took it personally, good. I want the other one to get pissed and I want him to have a fight. Like, get it out and go out there and play. Like, I hate the fact that sometimes that we, and this is an Andy Reid type of thing. Like, there's a lot of times that we do not come out as fired up as the other team. It just does not happen. We
definitely fell flat a lot.
Yeah, we fall flat a lot to some of these other teams. And I get it, keeping a level head on your shoulder because you've been there before. But there's also a thing where, like, you can get a little too flat and it can come out,
it can bite you. Look at the Super Bowl.
Momentum is absolutely a thing in sports.
Yes, very much so. It's crazy because I just mentioned that Super Bowl where we got our socks blown off by the Eagles. And like you mentioned, Mike, momentum's a real thing. A lot of people, when they refer back to that game, it was just a pure ass whooping. Kansas City got smoked. It was a blowout. It was embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. And absolutely all those things are true. But if you go back and watch that game, two plays caused that game to go the way it did. Because Patrick Mahomes threw a pick six to Cooper DeJean and then turned around and threw it straight to Zach Bond or whatever his name is the next play on offense. That literally that swing right there in momentum and points caused that game to get out of hand. Otherwise, if you watch the entire first half up until that point, it was actually a close game. It could have gone either way. So, yeah, momentum is definitely a killer sometimes. I mean, the same thing even in probably the Super Bowl with the Bucks, man. It was kind of the same deal. And I mean, it's weird how similar those two games are. Like, our offensive line sucked. It was banged up. They took advantage of it. And then like a couple of plays just caused things to go haywire, but that's how it goes in the NFL. And it can happen in the regular season with anybody too, because I mean, Andy says it all the time, but there's a lot of parity in the league. There's some teams that suck, but I mean, they still don't suck. They're an NFL team.
Yeah. I wanted to go back and touch on the question before about Patrick Mahomes, tight windows, things like that. The fella had a super chat. I wanted to make sure and get the information.
Todd, brother.
Todd. Okay. I couldn't think of who said it, but I'm just saying, like, we brought up the aggressiveness thing. He don't throw in the tight windows. A lot of people say you guys are crazy. He doesn't, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying he can't throw in the tight windows. I'm saying he doesn't like to. So again, if you go back, I can't screen grab this and bring it in. I'm just going to have to use the trust me, bro method. But I'm looking at next gen stats right now. So if you go back to Patrick Mahomes' 2018 season, that's arguably his best season he's ever had. 5,000 passing yards, almost 5,100, 50 touchdowns, 12 picks. His aggressiveness rating percentage that year was 12.2. How many quarterbacks in the league do you think had a lower, less aggressive passing than Patrick Mahomes the year that he threw for 5,100 yards and 50 touchdowns? You would think throwing like that would be crazy aggressive to get to 5,150 touchdowns. 114 QBR rating. He only had 4 quarterbacks below him, and one was a backup quarterback, Cody Kessler from Jacksonville. The only quarterbacks that were least aggressive than Patrick Mahomes in 2018, Brock Osweiler, Nick Mullins, and Marcus Mariota. That was it. Patrick Mahomes was the most conservative, least tight throwing person in all of football the year he won MVP, 5,100 yards, 50 touchdowns. I'm telling you, he does not like to throw in the tight windows, and he does not take unnecessary aggressive chances. That's just something he don't do.
Well, he'll do it at the right times. Patrick Mahomes is very smart. If he has a free play, he'll do it. He'll do it in a heartbeat. He'll throw it anywhere he can that might get.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And that's why he gets the stigma of they overturn all of his interceptions. No, morons. He knows it's a free play, so he throws that ball.
Rodgers have made a career out of that. Everybody does that if you know what you're doing.
Let Patrick Mahomes do it. He's just cheating. It's ridiculous. But, guys, appreciate y'all being here tonight. Do us a favor. Hit that like button and all that fun stuff. That would be awesome. Mike, I want to talk about one more thing before we get off here tonight, and I think it's a fun one because everybody's been talking about EB in the chat and how much of the influence he's going to be on this roster. And I think that he's going to bring positive things back to Kansas City. I don't think Matt Nagy was as bad as people make him out to be. I don't know if it was necessarily just Matt Nagy's fault that the offense was stagnant. I think it was more we had no running game. And you could say it was just on Andy Reid just as much as Matt Nagy. Absolutely. But I do think that EB is going to bring back some positive things to Kansas City. And, of course, he's not with the team right now because of what happened with his wife and everything. But did you see where he was watching the practice remotely and he actually called Andy Reid because he saw story? Yeah, it's a true story. He called Andy Reid because he saw something he didn't like, told him to get it fixed. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
That sounds completely made up.
It's true. It's a true story.
Like, who did he call?
He called Andy.
Like Ghostbusters? Like, what did he do, though?
It's
like,
2026. Everyone has a cell phone.
Yeah, but Andy didn't have it on the field, though, right? That's what I'm saying. Was it on the field in real time? Like, did he call somebody to get Andy a phone on the field? Like, how did that work?
Why do you got to ruin every story? I don't know.
It's a legit question.
But he called Andy Reid, so he saw something he didn't like. And
I'm just saying, Andy didn't pull out his Zach Morris. Okay,
no, he has an Apple iPhone, and he answered it.
I don't think he did that. I heard that he called somebody to get him in touch with Andy. Okay. Because Andy wouldn't have had his phone on the field.
Does that part of the story matter?
It doesn't, but I'm just cracking up because I'm like, who do you have to call to get Andy on the phone at practice? Like, do you have to call like Brett Veach?
So, yeah, that's what they're saying in the chat. He called Veach and he gave it to Andy. But regardless, the point of the story is that he called to tell Andy, fix this. I see it and it's dumb. And that's the kind of locked in that we want, right? Like he's completely in like what, Virginia?
He's itching to come back from everything I'm hearing. I think that Bieniemy could come back maybe this week. I think he may be back this week. He may be back tomorrow. It could be a nice Monday surprise. He could be there tomorrow.
So what's the practice schedule this week?
They got 4 days, and then they take a day off on Friday.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah, and then Friday they're off. Saturday's the Rams game.
Okay. That's exciting. You're going to get to see the Justin Fields show, baby. See how it goes. I think Justin Fields will do good enough to be able to evaluate some of these receivers, though. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like normally we're trying to evaluate receivers with like Oladokin running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
You know what I think you're going to see, honestly? You're going to see a lot of like that Oladokin style. I don't think the Chiefs are going to come out and just with Justin Fields. I don't see it being like this crisp thing. I think it's going to look a lot like the Oladokin style where like he drops back. There's nothing there.
As bad as that.
He tries to create.
We used to get so irritated and not taking shots at Oladokin. He's a fine quarterback number 3, right? Like he's got some talent. But we used to get so mad in the preseason because like we're trying to see what these receivers could do. And this cat's back there running in circles, throwing up the craziest stuff. Like, I think there'll be a little bit more structure with Justin Fields. He's a starting quarterback in the NFL, literally. So, obviously, he's not now. He's a
How do you think the quarterbacks are going to play out? I think Fields will get, what, quarter 1?
I think we'll see some nuts busts in there.
I think you'll see Fields in quarter 1. I think he may run into quarter 2, but I think you might see Oladokin in quarter 2. And then I think you're going to get...
Speaking of Oladokin, he might not be with the team much more than a practice squad player from now on.
Maybe not.
But I think Nussmeier is absolutely going to take 3.
I think you'll see him in the second half. I think he may get the whole second half. Possibly.
Yeah, maybe. And that's okay. That'll be okay. I think he plays more of the style that you would want to be able to see what receivers can do than what Oladokin does. I mean, Oladokin's the scout team Lamar Jackson, right? Don't throw the ball. Just get out there and run. Go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, appreciate y'all being here. Do us a favor, hit that like button on the way out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should do that. Help us get to 100K. That'd be freaking awesome. Shout out Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's live stream. And shout out to everybody that donated tonight. You guys are amazing. And we'll catch you next time. Be on the lookout for all these camp updates this week. We'll have a video out every day letting y'all know what happened. And we'll see you then. Go Chiefs.
Wow.